I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, from all over Indiana and beyond. Welcome. This is the 459th episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Producer Kate is at the controls doing the thing that she does. And we want to welcome all of you lovely people who are tuning in to listen to the political commentary of the day. Local politics, state politics, federal politics, and beyond. In tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about two things. We're going to be talking about two different areas of interest and concern. We're going to be talking about someplace that we haven't talked about in a long while. We're going to be talking about Randolph County. That's going to be the largest portion of tonight's program. Randolph County, that is. And then we are also going to be talking about Grant County, a new place that we have just started kind of covering here lately, and they've got some things going on. We have some information to relate to the citizens of Grant County. We're, of course, watching the situation with the Indiana Secretary of State, who's pulled off this other trip. It wasn't just a couple months ago. He was in India. Now he's ran off to Hungary, and either Hungary misunderstood what his title is, or maybe Diego misunderstands what his title is, and either one of those is a serious issue. So we're watching that and watching a lot of other things. Still waiting on some record releases out of Muncie and out of Henry County. And of course, we've got our folks watching Madison County as always. So it's been a pretty busy couple of days throughout East Central Indiana and beyond. So we're going to be covering the Randolph County, and probably a good portion of you watching know what we're talking about currently. Alva says, where's Randolph County? For those of you like Alva who's tuning in from Louisiana, although Alva knows Indiana better than people who actually live here, I think. Randolph County is east of Delaware County. It's the county that touches the Ohio border, just to the east of Delaware County, Muncie. Randolph County is Winchester, Union City, Lynn, Farmland, Parker City, places like that. And we're going to be talking about a pretty serious situation in Randolph County, a battle of the badges, if you will, a breakdown in communication, I believe, and a pretty serious issue. I think the biggest issue is communications, and then that led to a really serious issue occurring. So we'll be talking about that. Obviously, here in a bit, we're going to be talking about Grant County as well. I am asking all of you that are watching, specifically those of you that are watching, well, it goes from both ways. For those of you that are watching from Randolph County, generally, I will try to share the link, the YouTube link, to groups from the areas that I talk about, like the groups from Randolph County, or specifically if there are people talking about an issue, I will try to share the link under. However, Facebook has me on a 24-hour ban. What that means is, whatever this ban or block is, I am able to make an actual post on my Facebook page. I'm able to make a post on my groups. However, I am not able to comment in any of the comment sections. So, for example, the Union City, Indiana, keep that thing up here in a minute. I'm going to get to that here in a second. But the Union City, Indiana Police Department posted 7 hours ago a public address, a public records, a press release, and I wanted to comment under there, but I wasn't able to. So if you can comment to these groups, if you can comment to Grant County, we're going to be talking about Randolph and Grant counties. That would be helpful. If you could smash the like button, you're going to like this show. I promise you, one way or another, whether you agree or disagree, do that. That would be fantastic. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That's what we ask you. We don't ask you for money. We don't have different content for different people. We put all of our content out, and it's all free to you. I do want to offer one other little comment. YouTube has recently changed how they do the ads. And I know that our videos, like right now live, you're not getting hit with ads. Most of you aren't, I think. But for the people that watch into the future, watch via replay, if you're getting hit with a ton of ads, let me know that, because I'm needing to go in and change them. It's something that YouTube is doing. We're not controlling that. That's not us. I would not put an ad in every 4 minutes. That's ridiculous. I do my very best to take that shit out. I only try to put 2 to 3 ads in, like a 2 or 3 hour or 2.5 hour video. If it's an hour and a half, I try to have 2 in at the most. I would never put 15 ads in a video. So, I will try to deal with that. So smash that like button, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. If you want to communicate, if you're here watching live, it's 9:13 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, May 29th. Comment over here on the right-hand side. If you're here via replay in the future, comment down below. And above all else, share the show with everyone you know. Okay. So we're gonna get straight into it. Alva said that he is aware of where Randolph County is. It's where there tends to be a good large number of pedophiles, and I can't disagree with him. I cannot disagree. Okay, Krista, I appreciate you telling me that. Our co-host Brandon Rudd, he gets hit with like hundreds of ads for some unknown reason, and it pisses me off. So we don't do that to people, because that's unwatchable. Okay, it's just unwatchable. But how many are you getting, Alva? That's the thing. Are you getting a couple, or are you getting like 15? Because if you're getting 15, that's we have to deal with that. So we're going to be talking about Randolph County, and Grant County we'll get to towards the end of the show. But we've got to cover this Randolph County deal. And seriously, this Randolph County situation, It affects basically anybody in East Central Indiana and beyond. It affects people into Ohio. This is a pretty serious situation. So, I was not aware of this. I don't live in Randolph County, contrary to some people. The popular belief of a couple still. I lived in Randolph County for a 10-year period. I am back in Muncie in Delaware County. So today, I was made aware of a press release that went out by the Union City Police Department. Now, I do need to let you know that a lot of people don't know this. So Union City sits right on the state line. So there's a Union City, Indiana, and there's a Union City, Ohio. And Union City, Indiana, and Union City, Ohio both had two separate police departments, two separate fire departments, and all the whole nine yard. At some point back in the last couple of years, they did something. They got in contact with the two governors' offices. They got in contact with the two county governments, and they made this decision to become one city. So Union City, Indiana, and Union City, Ohio became one city. They merged the police departments and they merged all of the everything. Now, I'm not against that idea. It's strange. I wonder how the policing goes, because when I don't know how this goes. Maybe I need to get in contact with them. I'll try to get in contact with them and find out. If they arrest somebody technically in Ohio, do they take them to the Darke County Jail? Do they take that person to the Randolph County Jail? I don't really understand how that's working. The police chief of the department came from the Ohio side, and really that kind of shocked me because he was the smaller department. I kind of figured they would have brought the person that would have would have been the person from the larger department, and whatever. Anyways, that's the situation. Very, very strange. So the chief of the Union City, I call it the Union City, Indiana, Ohio Joint Police Department. I don't think they refer to themselves like that. I think they refer to themselves just simply as the Union City Police Department. But just so folks understand, it is technically the Union City, Indiana / Ohio Joint Police Department. So this is the press release that was released today. Union City Police Department addresses public concerns regarding release of violent felony suspect. Union City, Indiana. The Union City Police Department is aware of widespread community concern and circulating rumors regarding the recent arrest and subsequent release of a known violent illegal immigrant. On the evening of May 27th, so this would have been 2 days ago. Today's Thursday, it would have been Tuesday. On the evening of May 27th, 2025, officers with the Union City Police Department conducted a traffic stop for a routine traffic violation: speed, failure to stop at a stop sign, license plate light, headlight out, something like that, crossing center of line, whatever, for an infraction. They pulled this car over for an infraction. During the traffic stop, the driver was identified as Marcio Osman Romero Torres. an illegal immigrant from Honduras. The subsequent records check revealed that Mr. Torres had an active federal arrest warrant for several violent felony charges. It's interesting. Okay, well, I'll come back to that. In accordance with our duty to protect the public and uphold the law, Union City officers took Mr. Torres into custody based on the valid federal warrant. He was then transported to the Randolph County Jail for holding and further processing. Upon arrival, however, the Randolph County Sheriff's Department made the decision not to honor the federal arrest warrant and subsequently released Mr. Torres back into the community. The press release goes on to say, "Let us be clear. The Union City Police Department did not and does not support this decision. A lawful arrest was made in good faith based on actionable intelligence and a federally issued warrant. The decision to release this individual was made solely by the Randolph County Sheriff's Department, and we strongly object to this course of action. The Union City Police Department has since made immediate contact with the Department of Homeland Security and continues to work closely with federal authorities in an effort to locate and apprehend Mr. Torres. At this time, the suspect remains at large and is still wanted by the federal government for multiple violent crimes. Mr. Torres' active indictment includes the following charges: illegal alien transportation, placing lives at risk, and hostage taking. If convicted, the penalty is up to and including life imprisonment. We understand the concern and frustration this situation has caused and want to assure the public that our officers acted appropriately, lawfully, and in the best interest of community safety. We remain committed to transparency and the safety of our residents. Anyone with information regarding to the whereabouts of Mr. Torres is encouraged to contact the Union City Police Department or Homeland Security investigations immediately." So that's the press release. And I'm reading this and I immediately think, what in the hell? Now, this is where I want to pause and tell the folks that might not know. I am a former police officer. I have spent time in law enforcement. I worked in patrol. I worked investigations. I worked sex crimes investigations. I worked general felony investigations, and I worked narcotics investigations. After leaving the police department, I went to work in the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office, and I worked investigations in the prosecutor's office before my time in law enforcement came to an end, and I went back to work with my father and did that. I have served many arrest warrants. I have served warrants where we issued the paperwork for the warrant. We had the probable cause and issued the stuff for the warrant. I have made many arrests where I've just been tooling down the road and pulled a car over for speeding and went back to the car and ran the person, and they had a warrant for failure to appear, failure to pay. I've made arrests for nonsense warrants. I've made arrests for very serious warrants. And while no policing is ever the same, there is a pretty standard procedure when dealing with a situation like this. So, for example, I'm going to give you the for example here. If I'm driving down the road and you are driving down the road coming at me and you're speeding and you're wanted for any reason, you're a murderer on the run, you're wanted for drugs, you're wanted because you're an illegal immigrant, whatever. If you're coming at me and you're speeding, and I whip around and pull you over, and I walk up and I get your driver's license or get your information and run it, and I walk back to the police car, I'm going to get on the radio and I'm going to say, I want a 10, 27, and 29 when ready. Okay. I give the information to dispatch and they come back and they tell me that you're signal 40. That means wanted. Depending on the warrant, if it's a minor thing, we might walk up to the car, get you out, and put you in handcuffs. Maybe if it's a serious violent felony type warrant, we might do a felony stop where we have officers stand and pull handguns, have you get out of the car, turn around, lift your shirt up, walk backwards, get on your knees, do all of that stuff. All right. Whatever the case may be, I always, and every other officer that I've ever known, every other officer that I have ever known would always do the same thing. After the person was taken into custody, after you were taken into custody, we would get on the radio and we would tell dispatch, we have one male or one female or whatever in custody. Please fax the warrant to the jail. Fax the warrant to the jail. Whatever the case might be, that's what we would do. Fax the warrant to the jail. Because, we can't get it out on the side of the road. You can send me a picture to my phone, but we need it faxed to the jail. So then by the time we get to the jail, I'm taking you in and I'm now remanding you to the custody of the jail. I'm going to go get the paper, the warrant, and I'm going to read you the warrant. I'm going to read you the warrant from top to bottom. I am then going to sign and date the warrant, put my badge number, my PE number, whatever, put it on there. And I'm going to then go into the jail as we're remanding you, and I'm going to make a couple of copies. I did the same thing every time, and every other law enforcement officer I know did the same thing. I would make a copy for myself to take back and do the report on, and I would staple it to my report back at the police department. I would leave the original with the jail, and I would make a copy that I would fold up and put with the person's belongings so that when they were released, if they so chose to have it, they would have a copy of that warrant. There were always two copies made. The original sheet that the dispatch faxed, and then a copy for me and a copy for the person. And I always did that. Same thing. I would never take someone who had a warrant to the jail and drop them off and not have any of that taken care of. Because essentially, if you do that, that's no different than me going and picking up Kate, for example, my producer, picking her up and saying, hey, you've got a warrant, taking her to jail, dropping her off and saying, she's got a warrant, and then me leaving. Have I picked her up for a valid reason? Is she technically wanted? Where is she wanted out of? Who is she wanted by? Is she wanted by the locals? Is she wanted by state police? Is she wanted by California? Is she wanted by federal? There has to be paperwork, and there you have to have constitutional matters apply here. You can't just say, okay, there you go. So when I read this, I started reading the comments, and I started seeing people's comments like, wow, is there a pic of the suspect? A picture would be good. I've not seen a picture of the person. That would be good. I would like to see that. It's on my county link. It won't allow pictures to be posted on this site. Okay, so I'll have to go to get the actual picture of the individual, because that would be a good thing to get so people can understand who this is. I will work on getting that up. But people are very upset. Thank you, Union City Police, for trying. Everyone knows how corrupt Randolph County is. Thank you, Union City, for trying to do your job to protect our town and families. I called Randolph County Sheriff's Department. You get a machine. Call before a child gets hurt. How can the Randolph County Sheriff's Department discard a federal warrant? They don't have the authority to do that. Why hasn't Homeland Security or federal government stepped in to reprimand the person or persons the Randolph County responsible for their dangerous and incompetent decisions? There's a lot of things here, okay, going on where people are exactly pissed off. And listen, I'm not saying reading what they read, they shouldn't be. They probably very well need to be. Okay. I was interested in a couple of things that this press release said. Specifically, the part in the press release said where it says, upon arrival, however, the Randolph County Sheriff's Department made the decision not to honor the federal arrest warrant and subsequently released Mr. Torres back into the community. What that sounds like is the officers took him to the jail, and the jail said, no, we're not going to honor this warrant, and they released him. Like maybe at the same time Union City was there, maybe before they even got out of the Sallyport. That is not, in fact, what happened. Mr. Torres was arrested. The other issue here, it says on the evening of May 27th, 2025. Here's my issue with this. When you release a press release, people should count on the information to be factually accurate. Like you would hope that the press release that you're getting from the agency is factually accurate. If not, it calls a lot into question. So this starts out and says, on the evening of May 27th, 2025, officers with the Union City Police Department conducted a traffic stop for a routine traffic violation. Well, that's not, in fact, the case. This arrest actually happened at 1:05 a.m. on Wednesday the 28th. Now, listen, I oftentimes will say that's, Wednesday morning, I'll say, oh, that's Tuesday night. I get it. That's okay. And, there's not a whole lot of, issue there. It's not like this was days apart. However, we're expecting police reports, and we're expecting the things to be properly done, right? I mean, if they made an arrest at 1:05 a.m. on Wednesday, May 28th, I would expect all the paperwork would say 1:05 a.m. Wednesday, May 28th. Okay, that's just common sense. I would not expect the officers to say, well, we arrested him. Listen, it's crazy to me that they would have this discrepancy in here. But the biggest discrepancy is where it says, upon arrival, however, the Randolph County Sheriff's Department made the decision not to honor the federal arrest warrant, because this is where it gets really strange. Okay. The arrest occurred, as I stated, at 1:06 a.m. The subject was actually released at 8:06 a.m. So they didn't just say, we are not going to honor this warrant. They took the person into custody and they held him for 7 hours. Now, we still can say, well, wait a minute. Why did they release him 7 hours later? Why did they release him 7 hours later? Well, I have attempted to get in contact with the chief of the Union City Police Department. And if Chief Ader, Mark Ader is the name of the chief, I have kind of in roundabout ways dealt with him and talked with him or talked around him in the past. I have no issue with Chief Ader. I have no issue specifically with Ader. I have no issue specifically with Art. Okay. There have been several things that I have questioned concerning law enforcement in Randolph County. I am not saying, well, because I was a former police officer, I am backing the blue all the way. No. When they do something stupid, I'll call them out. When they deserve to be questioned and hammered, I will hammer them. When they deserve to be applauded, I will applaud them. If there's a bad apple on the police department, on the sheriff's department, I will call them out. Everybody knows that I hammered the department when Wells were all operating it. And there's been a lot of issue that I've had with the Randolph County Sheriff's Department under different sheriffs and various people on the sheriff's department. There have been major issues there that I've questioned, but I don't have a bad relationship with Mark Ader or with Art. And although I don't think that I've directly talked with Ader in the past, I generally don't have an issue getting through to Sheriff Moisner and asking him for information, or I have sources on that department that have given me information in the past. So I will say, if Chief Ader is out there and is listening to this, or someone is listening to this, and they are able to get me in contact with Ader, I would love to contact him. I would love for him to contact me. You are more than welcome to call me. You are more than welcome to email me. Here's my information. Here's our links on the left-hand side. Here's the studio line. Here's my email and the program email. So Chief Ader, hit me up. You can get a hold of me on social media. You can get a hold of me via email. You can get a hold of me on phone. I'm going to tell you, this is not hate on Ader, love on Moisner. This is not hate on Moisner, love on Ader. I'm just telling you the facts as I have heard them, and they have been brought to me, and I'm going to tell you my experiences and what I think about this and give you my opinion, because that's what this is. I have not been able to get in contact with Ader. If at some point in the future I am able to, I will update this. I will do another show. I will put out more content. I would like to get the reports involved with this. I'd like to get the body cam. I would like to get maybe cameras of the jail, or we'll see what happens. But I'd like to get as much information surrounding this as possible to be, to put it out here and give the public the best view of what actually happened here. All right? Because this is a serious situation. Okay? And so that's just what the deal is there. All right. I did get an official response from the Randolph County Sheriff's Department and Randolph County Sheriff Art Moisner. And this is subject, incident summary, and recommendations for improvement. I want to share with the individual in question that I want to share. I want to share that the individual in question was brought into the Randolph County Sheriff's Department. Stand by here. The individual in question, Mr. Torres, was brought into the Randolph County Sheriff's Department into the jail on May 28th, Wednesday, May 28th, 2025 at 1:06 a.m. That individual was released at 8:06 a.m. the same day. During this time, neither the sheriff's office nor the inmate was provided with a signed copy of the federal warrant, which would have served as the official authority for holding the inmate, holding the suspect, holding the subject, holding the person, whatever you want to call him. All right. Additionally, no details regarding the federal charges were communicated from the Union City Police Department or the arresting officers to the corrections officers at the jail or to any deputy or any higher up at the sheriff's department. Additionally, no details regarding the federal charges were communicated to the office. This situation is both unfortunate and concerning. It could have been avoided with clear communication and better cooperation between agencies. While the incident itself is troubling, the sheriff's primary focus is on understanding how this breakdown occurred and ensuring that steps are implemented to prevent a similar instance in the future. All right. I want to be clear on this. There's a couple ways that a police officer or a sheriff's deputy or a town marshal or a trooper or a federal officer or agent can arrest an individual. We're talking about something very serious. We're talking about taking someone's freedom from them, taking their liberties from them, and putting them in a cage. So there should be high standard to do that. Police officer cannot just come to your house, or should not be able to just come to your house, kick your door in, and haul you away. The police should not be able to flip their red and blues on, pull in behind you, have you pull over the side of the road, get you out of your car, haul you into jail in handcuffs, and take your freedom. There should be standards of protocol in which that happens. And there are. There are situations where an officer has reason to pull you over because you've committed an infraction. And then there is reasonable suspicion, there's probable cause, and all of that. You can arrest somebody without warrant if you have probable cause that a crime has been committed. Okay? I definitely understand what you're getting at, Clinton, because that stuff happens all the time, and that's what we try to fight back against. That shit should not happen. That's bad policing. We're talking about in a perfect world, and hopefully something that we could get to at some point in the future, where these things do not happen. That's the whole point of all of this. But if you don't have probable cause, you can't arrest somebody, period, unless there's a warrant. If you have a warrant, if a judge has signed off on a warrant, that warrant allows any officer that is aware of said warrant to arrest that individual. But in order for that individual to be held, that warrant has to be served. And a warrant is not considered served unless and until you have the hard copy warrant, or you have a copy of the warrant, you read it to the suspect, and you sign date it, and you give that to the detention center holding the individual, generally a jail. Okay? So the issue here is I am going to issue tomorrow, or when I get off here, they won't get it until tomorrow. I'm going to issue record requests between the two agencies, between Union City and the Sheriff's Department, for emails for emails that show communication between the two agencies, because I am hearing from sources that have contacted me close. Stand by. I'm getting a private number to calling me right at this moment. Stand by. Hello? Hi. Oh, yes. Hi. How's it going? All right. So, well, I'm I'm live currently. Are you wanting to come on live? Okay. Stand by and let me make this happen. Let me ask you, do you have the ability to call me via Facebook Messenger? Okay, like to your department page. I saw that you had a Facebook page. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Stand by 1 second. That's happened a couple times before in the past. We'll see what goes on here. But generally, people are not. They're calling because they've heard that I've reached out, but they haven't. Here's the deal, Eric. You're right. You're saying I'm confused. I thought they could do up to a 24-hour investigation detention to sort it. The Fed's office wouldn't have been open to provide the hard copy warrant until probably 9 a.m. Here's the thing. The dispatch would have a copy of the warrant, and those are generally easily to be faxed up to the jail or whatever. That's very easy to happen. And there are time, but when that happens, normally the individual is being held for a reason. They are preliminarily booked in on other charges. You know what I mean? Let me stand by. Let me contact Mark here. Hold on here 1 second, sir. Can you hear me? Okay. Are you okay with me connecting you live? Did you hear me? Okay, so you're okay with me connecting you live? Okay, here we go. Stand by, folks. Okay, Chief?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me, I can hear you. And I think we're good there. So, okay, all right, you can hear me, and all right, you are now live.
Okay.
So, okay, I generally I would have talked to you like off air, and we would have communicated kind of things, and so you're coming in right into the middle of this. So, have you been watching the program?
I was just notified of it. Yeah. Up until this point, yes.
Okay. So, I guess, so did you hear the statement that had been released by the sheriff's department to our group?
I did.
Okay. So, what's what's your thought on that? What about the warrant? I mean, what's your take on? I've read the your press release. What's your take from where we're at here now since what you've been hearing?
So what took place was officers from our agency made a traffic stop on a vehicle, identified the subject in the vehicle. It was clear that he had a warrant for his arrest. It was a federal warrant from the Department of Homeland Security. We did the procedures the same as we have done every time. You run the person. NCIC and IDAX is a system that we use that's through the state and the FBI.
Yep.
It's the database for the warrants. Ran the guy. He had a warrant. They sent the information back to DHS to confirm the warrant. They confirmed that he in fact had a warrant for his arrest, and the officer that effected arrest on the gentleman.
Okay. And
So
then, go
I
ahead.
did hear the part that there was a lack of a paper warrant, as my understanding is what the press release said, which is concerning. And the reason I say that's concerning is because Indiana law, specifically, Indiana Code 35-33-2-1. It's also included in 35-33-1-1.
Oh, so
It's
I'm sorry.
specifically,
Real quick, sir. Can you read those numbers to me one more time?
yep, it's 35-33-2-1,
Okay.
and then 35-33-1-1.
Okay.
I don't want to quote the exact section or what the title is, but
Sure.
it's very specific in the fact that an officer can effect an arrest based on communication that's been held inside the IDAX and NCIC system.
Yes.
So when the officer ran this individual, that information was sent through IDAX and NCIC. DHS then was contacted. They confirmed the existence of the federal warrant. In that
Okay.
case, that information was relayed to the police officer. He was able to effect the arrest. It's 2025, Chris.
Yep.
We don't get papers. We don't hold paper warrants. We don't serve paper warrants. As a police officer, I cannot serve an arrest warrant for the federal government. What I can do, and what our guys did, was made an arrest based on the communication that we had via IDAX and NCIC. That person was taken to the Randolph County Jail. That is a common practice. It's a common procedure. It has never been the expectation for any of our guys to grab a paper and read that paper to the person that we arrested. As a police officer, even if it was a local warrant from Randolph County, I can effect an arrest, and our guys can effect an arrest. However, it's the sheriff's department's duty to serve that arrest warrant to that individual. And that's what happens. This is the same exact thing. Of course, we work on the state line. We deal with it a lot, where we'll arrest someone in the state of Indiana on Ohio felony warrant. No different. We do the procedures the same exact way. It's ran through NCIC and IDAX. We send for a confirmation that the warrant is actually active. They communicate back to us whether it is or not. If it is an active warrant, we effect an arrest. We take them to the Randolph County Jail, where they sit. They have laws that protect for extradition and so on and so forth, not to get in the weeds of things.
Sure.
If they waive their extradition, they go back to the state of Ohio, where we'll say it came out of Darke County. Someone from the Darke County Sheriff's Office then serves them officially with that arrest warrant. So this is no different. The procedures, the policies, everything was followed. I've been a police officer for 20 years, and I have never, ever handed an arrest warrant to someone and served them with an arrest warrant. I've never been a deputy sheriff, and I've never been a federal agent. I can't do it. So on top of that, let me be very clear really quick.
Yep.
On top of that, a copy of that warrant was sent to the Randolph County 911 Dispatch Center. A copy of the actual signed warrant, the federal warrant, was sent to the Randolph County Communication Center. They received that warrant. It's my understanding that it's also stapled to all the IDAX paper in their filing cabinet. They entered that warrant into their local system so that that person could be booked on those charges. So there is a copy of that warrant at the Sheriff's Department.
Do you know when it was
to hand that warrant to the jail staff. Dispatch holds all that communication between DHS via IDAX and NCIC. That's not a communication that we have with them. It's all through a computer system. At no point has there ever been that my officer has to take a paper warrant and hand it to the jail staff, nor do they have to hand it to the individual that was arrested. It was a signed warrant. They have the copy of the signed warrant. What happened here, Chris, the ball was dropped. There was a bad decision made that allowed this man back onto the street because of the risk of liability of some sort of false imprisonment, which I don't understand at all, because we do have the authority to arrest on a federal arrest warrant, and that's what we did. That's that's the nuts and bolts of it, Chris.
Sure.
That's the nuts and bolts of it right there. There is no, we did not make a false arrest. The sheriff took it upon himself without the court system, without the use of the prosecutor's office. They took it upon themselves for whatever reason to allow this individual to walk right back out of the jail because they weren't going to honor a federal arrest warrant. That's not on me. That's not on my guys. My guys followed policies, procedures, took him to jail. Long and short of things, I don't hold the keys to the jail. I don't get to control who goes in and out.
Sure. No, I definitely understand that. Let me ask you, you're saying that there a copy had been sent. Do you know when that was sent? Was that sent like during that officer's time, like before, after
It was sent to the 911 communication center prior to the officer even arriving at the jail with Mr. Torres. They had it prior to him getting there.
Okay. And you're saying, so for example, if I'm heading over to Maid Rights in Greenville and I've got a warrant for battery out of Muncie City Court, and you pull me over, and NCIC IDAX tells you that I have a warrant out of Muncie City Court, that you arrest me and would take me to the Randolph County Jail, that never in your time or to your knowledge, any of your officers have never given a warrant to the jailers, like if you would arrest me for that instance. Okay.
We would communicate via IDAX and NCIC, which is state law allows us to do and allows us to make an arrest based on that information. We would never even call over to the city of Muncie and say, hey, can you send me a copy of that warrant? It's 2025. It's not 1993 anymore.
Well, sure. Yeah, right. And so that's the thing. So basically what would happen would be, from my experience when I was in law enforcement, and I don't know if you missed that part or not, but I was on in the early 2000s. We would, if we, for example, in over in Delaware County, would be made aware that somebody was wanted out of Jay County, dispatch would tell us that, and we would have them fax a copy of what they were, the warrant, to the jail. They would have that warrant that would be at the jail when we got there. And as I stated, I would read it to the individual. Hey, you're wanted on this. I would sign it, put the date, time, and my PE number, badge number, and make a copy for myself, give them a copy at the jail, and fold a copy into their effects that I handed over to the jail. And that was just standard operating procedure over here during that time. So I know that things are different from department to department, but I think that's, I get what you're saying, that that's not happened. And I definitely understand. Even in the early 2000s, it wasn't like I wasn't a police officer in 1970, so things were different, but there were still digital things happening, but I find that odd.
And I agree with you. If it's a local Randolph County warrant, that might be a position that we would serve a local warrant to someone while they were in the jail, because the dispatch holds the actual warrant.
Okay.
Not a copy of the warrant, not a fax copy of the warrant.
Sure.
But if it's out of county, if it's out of state, if it's a federal warrant, that's not our gig.
Okay.
So I guess a local warrant, yes, that would be something that we would do. But an out of county warrant, an out of state warrant, we would not technically serve that arrest warrant. They're just being held based on the communication that we had. Sorry for all the noise.
No, you're fine.
That they would be held based on the communication, the information that we got from IDAX and NCIC.
Okay. And so this is the first time you've ever ran into something like this?
Is this the first time I've ran into something like this?
Yeah.
The only first time, the only first time that I've ran into something like this, yes, I've never witnessed a sheriff of a county release a violent felon onto the street ever
Yeah.
on a valid arrest warrant that was in their dispatch center that they had a copy of, that they had communication via IDAX and NCIC. So yes, this is the very first time that I've ever dealt with something like this.
Sure, sure. And you guys are out obviously still looking for him. You've not had any luck in finding the individual?
We have not, no.
Is there a picture of this individual? I know a lot of people have been asking that. Like, it would be helpful if there was a picture, so people would be like, no, hey, this guy's at the store or whatever, you know.
We had body camera footage.
Okay.
We contacted the Randolph County Jail today and asked for a picture of the mugshot.
Yeah.
And they were not able to provide one. It wasn't in the Spillman system. So we have not received one. We did request it.
Okay. Okay. I will issue a records request with them as well. So, well, I appreciate you calling and contacting me. I tried reaching out through dispatch. I know you work different hours or whatever. So I definitely appreciate you reaching out to me and coming on and stating your side of the facts. And like I said, you know, I've got nothing against you guys. It's not for or against one department or the other. Obviously, this is a situation that is serious. In the
Chris, I want to be very clear.
Sure.
This shouldn't even be a situation of one department versus another department.
Yeah.
This is a matter of doing what's right.
Yeah.
This is a matter of putting someone in jail that needs to be in jail. There's just pretty serious charges this guy's facing, and he walked right back out. I understand things are going to happen. I do understand things are going to happen, but I wanted to be very clear that this did not happen because of something that the Union City Police Department did. This decision was a sole decision of the Randolph County Sheriff's Department. The unfortunate thing here is there's a violent offender back on the street.
Yeah.
This isn't personal. This isn't one department versus the other department. This is just simply stating fact. We did what we were supposed to do. They released the individual. If he feels that's what he should have done, that's his decision as a sheriff. I'm not going to say I agree with it, but that's his right. That he is the operator of that jail. That's his decision. I just have severe problem with the fact that a violent offender is back out on the street when he was in the jail.
Yeah.
That's the only issue that I have here.
Yeah.
Not an issue with the Randolph County Sheriff's Department, not an issue with Sheriff Art Moistner. The issue here is the community should not be put at risk for something that happens like this.
Yeah. 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 Well, very good, sir. I appreciate
that's what bothers me the most.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Well,
there was, and just for clarification purposes, during the course of this stop, we took a lot of time to make sure the I's were dotted, the T's were crossed. You know, you mentioned that, you know, you take someone's rights away, you put them in jail. That's a big deal. And you know what? I agree with you 110%. When you take someone's rights away and you put them in a jail, that's important. Sure. You know, this wasn't a decision that was made in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
This was a decision that was made based on a lengthy investigation and a thorough job done by our officers, period. They did what they needed to do. They did it right. And they took their time doing it. This was, like I said, this wasn't a 10-minute traffic stop. There was questions, administration was contacted, decisions were made that we felt were in our best interest.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, very good, sir. I appreciate you taking the time to get in contact with us and state from your point of view what had happened. I'm glad that you were able to do that. And I hope that you guys are able to capture this person again, and this will be taken care of.
Right. And moving forward, we have to prevent it from happening. It doesn't matter if it's my department, their department, your department. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We have one job to do. It doesn't matter what color our uniforms are, brown, black, blue, green, whatever.
Yep.
We have one job to do. And the simple fact is this guy needs to be in jail, period. And we need to make sure it doesn't happen moving forward. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, sir.
Yep.
Thank you. Be safe, and I will reach out if there's anything else.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Chief Mark Ader, and you heard what he had to say there. I will say, stand by here. I'm not going. This is not somebody from Randolph County, so this is not out of Randolph County. However, I am currently getting a message from someone who is the commander of a jail. So, in case people are not aware, your city and town police departments are just that. They're city and town police departments. They make arrests and do that. The sheriff of each county, at least in Indiana and most other communities throughout America, I know there are some bigger cities where the police departments have holding cells and maybe city jails, but at least here in the state of Indiana, all 92 counties have jail that's maintained by the elected sheriff, which is a constitutional position. They are the only constitutionally elected law enforcement officer in each county, and so they are the elected constitutional law enforcement officer. They maintain the jail. They maintain law enforcement department, and normally in the jail they will have a jail commander, someone that is overseeing the jail. And I am, well, what's going on with my picture here? That's weird. Mark did it, I think. No, he didn't. I'm kidding. I did it when I sent him out of here. Mark was talking to us about the process of taking someone to jail. I've told you what my situation was when I took someone to jail. And I received this from a jail commander, and I'm not going to release the name or what department this person's from. The only thing that I will say is this is someone that is not from Randolph County. This person says, as the person in charge of the jail, we have to have a hard copy of the warrant, period. Dispatch would send us the warrant. This person says generally. This person says the jail, he's saying I will accept on a hit response, but warrant will have to be provided to us. We would automatically send email to district contact on federal warrant. Since Trump has been in, responses are generally within hours for us to hold. Now, I will say this. I understand that times have changed since when I was on versus how things go now. What I'm going to have to do, and I'm not saying that Chief Ader was lying or saying anything wrong. I'm just saying I don't know until I look. I guess what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to file record requests for arrests, maybe in Randolph County, where maybe the Winchester Police Department, Union City Police Department, Randolph County Sheriff's Department, maybe different agencies, also including Randolph or Union City, have arrested people on warrants, and I'm going to have to find out: have warrants ever been provided to the jail by the police? Is Mark correct? That's just never happened. I'm not saying he's lying. I from my experience and my understanding of what happened, I find that shocking. I'm not going to say I find that hard to believe. I'm going to say I find that shocking. And to him, listen, I'm not saying that they did or didn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not necessarily saying that Art did or didn't do anything wrong. And I'll get to why I'm saying that in a moment. But when he's saying that the law allows them to make the arrest, there's a difference between making the arrest as a police officer and holding the individual as the jail. Okay, so I want to be clear on that. Yes, he's 100% correct. He doesn't have to have the hard copy. We would get people that would say that all the time, that would fight us and be like, "You've not given me a copy of the warrant." And we'd be like, "Dude, we're out here in the middle of an arrest on the street. We don't have the warrant. I can't print it out of my ass. You'll get it when we get to the jail." Okay? So there would be this back and forth, whatever, and then they would get it when they got to the jail. And oftentimes we'd be like, "See, look, here it is." But he's right. The law allows the officers to make the arrest without having any hard copy. He does not need that. But as the jail commander from another jail said here, they have to hold, if there are no other current charges, they have to have the warrant in order to hold them. Now, does that mean the dispatch dropped the ball? The Randolph County dispatch dropped the ball? Does it mean, I'm not, maybe that's true. I don't know. From what I gathered from the sheriff before getting the release that he gave me, the sheriff stated to me in a phone call prior to this, just simply that as the constitutional law enforcement figure in the county, in his mind, without that warrant, without the copy of warrant, and he was very adamant that they did not have the warrant. So we're going to have to find out what time that warrant was there. Mark's saying the warrant was there. It was copied to paperwork. It was, all of that. So we're going to have to find that out. This is going to come down to a photo finish. This is going to come down to times and what time places were where, who had what when. And that's what it's going to do. And the thing is, we're going to have to issue record requests for that. But, could I see a sheriff saying, constitutionally, I don't have anything to hold this individual on. We don't have the warrant. I could see a sheriff saying that. Now, how long of time did he have? Could he have reached out and found it? Should he have reached out and found it? That those are things that'll have to be looked at. Art's not saying like, "Oh, I'm glad I did this." Art is now saying this was terrible. This is horrible. We hope this guy's found. We're looking for this guy. We want this guy to be found. So, this is a terrible situation. I will be issuing records requests, and I will look for the picture. Let me look for the picture now. See if we have a copy of the picture. Give me a second. Someone's saying there's a copy on the Randolph County Sheriff's Department. Give me 1 second. Let me ask this person, does a digital copy work? Or does it have to be hard paper copy? Yeah, Correct. This is very good. Look at this here. This is good. When you run a name in IDAX NCIC, get the hit, the dispatch center must send a hit response to the agency that has the warrant. The agency with the warrant has 10 minutes to give the response. Alvis says, weren't there problems with the dispatch center in Randolph County a couple years ago? You'll have to remind me what you're talking about there, sir. Problems like with phone lines and stuff going down and the system going down, because that's happened a lot. And that's happened a lot. With in Delaware County and beyond. That's happening. If you're talking about something else, I may or may not be sure. Hey, listen, the trolls are coming after you people. While you're in here just standing around watching, smash that like button, people. That would be fantastic. You're getting this content for free. Smash that like button. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. If you don't want to, don't. That's okay. I'm getting a response back here. Okay. Here we go. This is again coming from a jail commander not in Randolph County. I am not going to hold anyone if I don't have an actual warrant. I ask the question, does a digital copy work? Or does it have to be a hard paper copy? And the response I got back is, I am not going to hold anyone if I don't have an actual warrant. We will accept on a hit response, but I will not hold if they cannot provide the warrant to us. I will not hold that individual. My staff will call for the warrant or email. Local warrants are always available for the officer to serve. My staff does not serve those. The officer does, because the officer is the arresting agency. The most corrections officers cannot arrest you. They don't have arrest powers. Now, some do because they might be merit deputies. I guess in some cases they could be reserves, but as corrections officers, they only have the authority to quote unquote arrest, detain inside the facility. So it doesn't make sense. And that is a very good question, David. If that's happening, why was he held for 7 hours? I will put that question out to Art. That is a good question. Why 7 hours? Good. That is a good question. My staff does not serve those. The officer does. Sometimes other counties cannot provide those warrants except during work hours, but a federal warrant, I'm sure we would get quickly. The feds will provide a hard copy. We would generally get that through email from the feds. No, Paula. A corrections officer cannot write you. A corrections officer better not be stopping you. They better not be stopping you out in the road. They have no authority to pull you over. And they, that should not be happening. So the warrant could come in through digital means and be printed, yes. So someone at the jail dropped the ball, and now they're trying to cover their asses, Williams says. David says, I think the Union City cops are on the up and up. They are being transparent. Yeah. So, Paula, I don't know what you got going on there, but if something like that happened, you need to be contacting somebody, because that's a serious issue. Now, there are correctional officers who are reserves places and who have police power. And some, like, for example, in Madison County, I was given a seatbelt ticket by a correctional officer about 3 months ago. That's very strange, Paula. In Delaware County, in what county? Where you? If you have the ability, I don't know. I forget if you have the ability. If we're friends on Facebook, if we're friends on Facebook, get a hold of me and talk to me about that. That's very problematic. I would be interested to know what the hell is going on there. That's a problem if that's the case. Shockproof, I am aware of what you're talking about the school. There's some other issues that have been brought to my attention, and we are going to cover that. I'm not going to cover that tonight because we've got a lot of other stuff going on, but I am in the process of getting that. Several people have messaged me here in the last couple of days about stuff going on there. Yeah, I'm in the process. Yes, I'm assuming you're saying I was in Muncie. Do you have a copy? Do you have a copy of that ticket, Paula? I would be interested in seeing that. David, that's a very good. Now that's good. Now you could be talking. Are you talking about Are you talking about a DNR officer? A conservation officer? Was he in green? Was he wearing green? Are you talking about the bunny police? Did he have a black paint on his face and like a band around his head and nunchucks and a bow, an arrow instead of a gun? Did he swing in on a vine? I don't know what you're talking about there, Paula. Cost you $75. I want to talk to you about this. I directly want to talk to you person to person. Do me a favor, if you would, please, ma'am. Tomorrow, that is Friday. Please do me a favor at your convenience and call me at that phone number, because I would like to get to the bottom of what you're talking about, because no court would have taken that. Where did you pay it to? There's a lot of questions there. And I need to go on now, but I do want to talk to you about that. So there's my phone number. Take a picture, write it down, give me a call. I want to talk to you about this. Okay. All right. Now I think we're getting to the bottom of it. So it wasn't a corrections officer. It was a Okay. It was a conservation officer, bunny police, driving a vehicle, not correctional officer. It didn't say, it probably said conservation officer. And they are able to ticket you. They're the same as city police, as troopers, as sheriff's department. Yes, they are absolutely able to ticket you. Now we saw that. Hey, William, we love it. You know what? And we love you. We love you. So that was a conservation officer, ma'am. Chaz is here, and Chaz is saying, I'm a police officer in another area. Our county jail won't even accept a warrant arrest without a physical one with verification form attached to it. Chaz, okay, yeah, call me tomorrow, Paula. Chaz, I appreciate you, brother, because I hope. Listen, I'm not taking shots at Mark Ader, at Chief Ader from Union City. I'm just telling you, and I understand I'm not a police officer now. During this Futurama Jetsons age where it gets beamed right into our brain and we can use our Google lenses and print the warrant right there. I know I was a police officer in the Stone Age, all the way back in the early 2000s. What he made it sound like. But I'm not taking shots at him, but I'm telling you, all the way back in the 2000s, we had to do exactly what you're talking about there. So no, I don't. There's. I'm glad that you said this here. And K Mama, no, that's also not correct. And I try to stop people from thinking that. There is no technical police officer technically that has more power than another. A Union City police officer can make the exact same arrests that a conservation officer, state trooper, Randolph County sheriff's deputy, a Muncie City police officer, a Evansville police officer can. They're all the same. If they all go through Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, ILEA, if they're all go through the Tier 3 training, it's Tier 1. I always say it backwards. Sorry. Training, it's all that they can do, not Tier 3. That's going the wrong way. They are everyone's the same. So that's that. So I'm also a police officer in Southern Indiana. We don't always have a hard copy of the warrant, especially a few counties in Kentucky. The sheriff's office closes and KSP takes over after hours. Yeah, Greg. Now, Bradley Tucker, quote unquote, technically their jurisdiction, meaning a Muncie City police officer is an officer in Muncie City limits. However, he has the same arrest and police power in Evansville that he does in Muncie. He can arrest somebody in the county. He can arrest somebody in Madison County. An officer with the Henry County Newcastle Police Department can go up to Jay County and arrest somebody. Jurisdiction is like a kind of you stay in there because that's where you're paid to work. It wouldn't make sense for you to go on duty and drive up to Jay County. That doesn't happen. But officers in Indiana, if you go to Law Enforcement Academy, you have, if you go through Tier 1 Academy at ILEA, you have statewide jurisdiction and power. So that's that. Okay. I'm going to follow up with all of this. I'm going to try to get the picture. I'm going to try to get everything that we've got with this. All right. There's a lot to still cover with this. This is early on. Number one, I want and I hope that the communication between the Union City and Randolph County can better. At the end of the day, Ader was right. This isn't about a pissing match. This is about getting a very seriously violent person off the street. Hello, Jack. How you doing? I appreciate you saying hit the like button, Jack. Jack doesn't even like me, but he comes in and says it all the time, but we're best friends. So, we love Jack, and just like we love all of you. Okay, so I will follow up with this. If you're interested in this, stay involved. You should probably, if you're interested in this, before you go anywhere, you should probably subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell. You should also follow me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. One of these days, I'm going to leave Facebook because it's a pain in the ass, and Twitter's the way to go. I just got to be able to get all 5,000 of the people that follow me on Facebook, or however many there are, plus the followers, over to X. And once I get that accomplished, I'm done with Facebook. So there's where you follow us. Smash the like button. Follow us. Follow. Okay. From there, now we are now going into Grant County mode. Grant County responded. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Kate, you don't even know what I'm talking about, Grant County, do you? You have no clue what the hell's going on. I'm going to have to bring you up to speed on that. Folks, Grant County, I am going to go to their commissioners meeting on the 2nd at 10 a.m. It's going to be interesting. I received correspondence from them today. As you're all aware, as everybody except Kate is aware. Hold on. You know how I can tell that I've done a story on the fire department? You know how I can tell that I've done a story on the Muncie City Fire Department? Because anytime I do a story on the fire department, some of the cancer that's within the fire department always spams my email. They take my email and they sign me up for a bunch of bullshit. And I... Jack, oh God, that hurt me. That's actually yes, that's hilarious. Oh shit. That's very true. Good Lord. That's hilarious. Anyways, oh God, that's amazing. That's hilarious. So I sent what is this? I sent a couple of record requests to the Grant County people. The first email I sent was a record request where I requested the full unedited recording of the commissioners' meeting. I asked for the full unedited video. I then asked them for payments, invoices, contracts for the maintenance people of the county or courthouse and all other county government buildings from January of 2024 through May 23rd, 2025. And then I also asked them why they had an attitude. I just said, so why did you have an attitude? Why were you guys being assholes? Basically. They responded to me. I actually got this response yesterday. I didn't know this. This was actually a response that came into me to the box yesterday. And let me find it. So they only replied to two of my emails, to my first record request and to the second one. And the person who responded was apparently the county attorney. Okay, what they sent to me was as follows. Mr. Bilbrey, your open record request has been received. And this was the record request for the video. Please be advised that the full unedited version of the meeting from May 19th, 2025 has been downloaded to YouTube. There is no part of the recording that was missing. What? Let's go back and take a look at that video just to hear how absolutely stupid that attorney is. Okay? I could not believe that was the response they wanted to go with. Okay? Grant County Commissioners meeting. Okay? And remember, we're going to watch the Grant County Commissioners meeting from the 19th. That's what we are interested in watching. Okay? And dude, you don't have that many meetings. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So we're going to watch. They don't know Chris well enough to know he won't indulge. Yeah. Well, like, dude, it's clear as crystal. It's nuts. It's totally insane that is a statement that they would make. It is nuts to me that they would make this statement. Yeah, it's totally unedited. Everything is okay. There's nothing to watch here. Okay? So look, remember, we are concerned about the period from 49:35. Okay.
Good morning.
Megan gets up to talk.
Wakefield. I don't believe we formally met, but
Beautiful, smart, right on point, very well put together, has the information, brings them up there. And keep in mind, she's an employee and they treat her like dirt. Okay. And I'm really bothered by this because the two commissioners that are new, Shane and Chuck, they're the guy in the middle here. He is the president. That's Shane. And then the guy that we can't see off to the right, okay. Ashley Jarnigan, no, that's no. And I want to talk about that for 1 second here. Because JD did respond. Hold on here. I cannot answer. I would hate if one of my officers wrote a ticket for seatbelt because none of my guys have take-home cars but me. My guy. Someone told me that I'm old. This guy told me that I am old. The guy that was telling me. I guess that's probably true. Hold on. Let me go back to this because I do. Let me go back because I do want to see that JD thing. And I know someone sent that to me. Oh, I do also. Okay, so interesting. I know we've lost some of the Randolph County people, but I do have a man. We're all over the place. I'm sorry. I just got this in. We'll come right back to Grant County. I do have to put this up. So I do have a picture of this gentleman, and I will put this out there for everyone to see. This is the gentleman that we are talking about that is on the run. I will put this out there for folks so everyone can see this. We will get this out there. But I was also sent an email, and I want everyone to look at this. This is an email from the chief. And this email was sent from Art, the sheriff, to the chief. And I know it's hard to see. I will put this out there, but I will read this to you guys so you guys can see what it is. And basically it says, Chief, after doing some checking today, I was able to determine dispatch had received an email containing the federal warrant around midnight. That email was forwarded to the Union City officer around the same time it was received. That warrant was never provided to the jail staff to be added to the inmate packet. In the future, we need to make sure the officers, mine included, provide the warrant to the jail staff. I have also asked dispatch to assist with making sure the information is provided. Let me know if you have any thoughts on how to improve on the process. So that's that. And I'll have to see if there's anything else. If there are any other emails I would be interested in. I want to have the complete email back and forth so we can paint a clear picture. But that email is interesting. And I will do a follow-up to that for the people who left, and I'll post it out there so people can see as well, because we have lost a couple. All right, back to Grant County. So the guy over here, he's from the old, he's not new. And I don't know if I think he's the odd man out. So I think this is a situation where it's like a 2 against 1. The two new guys are doing everything, and the other guy over here, he's the odd man out. But I'm disappointed that he didn't speak up and say, "Hey, you guys are out of line."
You've probably heard my name.
I want you to listen to some of this.
One of my questions was going to be,
need to give us a chance and let this heating and air work out, because
This guy is an asshole. This guy right here is an asshole. I just want to be very clear. I have heard today that he has been up in the face of other employees, yelling to the point that spit is hitting them in the face. He's been in the face. He's come chest to chest with employees. At one point, he was poking at an employee the time they were talking, to where other people literally thought that he was poking the employee. And the funny thing is, it always is women that he's talking to. He never talks to a man that way. So I would like to I kind of put him in the same category as the two jokers from last night. Mr. Poling, speak to a man that way. I would like you to speak to a man the way that you're speaking to this woman and to the other women that you belittle. And I'm really disappointed at the other commissioner. These two are turds. Whatever, okay? But the other one, why doesn't he speak up and say, point of order, quit talking to our employees like that? Literally, at one point, this man says, "You're in my meeting." Dude, I would have fallen out of the chair if I would have been there and he said that. But that's not what we're on about. What we're going to look for right now is the missing period, okay? We're looking for the missing period. All right, so I want you to remember.
I'm Pam here.
The clerk gets up. The clerk is in the yellow and the green, and she gets up. Let's listen to what happens here. Here's where it happens.
Press, the county clerk.
You're right, Jack.
President 15 East Wilcock, and
You're right. It's the people's meeting, not that assholes. You're absolutely right. And you're right, Kiff. It does sound like Ed Soliday.
yield my time to Ms. Goodfield.
thank
Don't
you.
yield time, Ms. Harris.
Well, I will wrap it up.
So the clerk said, "I would like to yield my time." They say, "We don't yield time." This woman says she's wrapping up. Yes, Bree, that's yes.
What you see
Your
here,
time's over.
Okay.
Step away.
Your time is over. Step away. Listen to this.
It'd be nice if you would have let her complete her
It
presentation
would be.
without interrupting.
because you
That's
took most of my
bad
time, Mr.
part.
Poling, you. And I hope the public takes note,
I hope they do too.
because the big
If I
part
was-
of your
I
campaign
hope
was
the-
I
transparency.
wish you would let her.
We're done.
Now, the president beats the gavel and says, "We're done." Now watch.
I hope the public takes notice of how these employees are so unappreciative of what we're trying to do.
You didn't
Yeah, there's no cut there.
We need all the
That
employees.
looked normal. Everything's okay. And these people literally act like there weren't other human beings, live human beings in the meeting that says, no, that's not right. Because after that, the little twerp in the middle with the suit jacket, he lost his cool and started yelling and carrying on. And that is what they cut out of this video. They cut out. He's okay with his partner acting like a fool, but he's like, no, we need to cut out. That's why, Grant County, you need to go and start recording these meetings with your phone, with your camera, Whatever you need to do, you need to start recording these meetings. Well, the public access counselor to talk about the cut time, but other than that, no, they are the gods of the county, the commissioners. There is an ethics committee. It's called the voting public. They just have to remember this shit. All right. So let's go back to the email. The email says, your open record request has been received. Please be advised that the full unedited version of the meeting from May 19th has been downloaded to YouTube. There is no part of the recording that was missing. Yeah, there's part of the recording that was missing. Literally, Martin Harker, Martin A. Harker. There were human beings in the meeting that know that the twerp there with a suit jacket lost his mind and was yelling, and that's what's cut out of this. How can you literally say that? It goes on and says, there was a technical error that led to part of the meeting not being recorded. Thank you. What? It recorded this part and it recorded the end part, but it didn't record the part where the president lost his mind. So I sent back to him, a response that said, oh, so it just happened to be the video magically cut out when Commissioner Shane Middlesworth lost his cool. And then I put the little emoji with the sunglasses and said, okay. Like, that's completely ignorant. Completely ignorant. Then the next email he sent me, response to the email with record request number 2, where I requested all of the invoices for maintenance. They said, Dear Mr. Bilbrey, your open record request has been received. We are working on a response and will advise within 7 days as to how much we are able to provide in that time frame, and if additional time will be required to comply with your request. Thank you. Thank you, Martin Harker, whatever your name is, you knob. These people are absolutely insane. So that's bizarro world. Okay, just absolute bizarro world. Okay. Oh, thank you, Tammy Collins, if you're watching, for sending me the picture. We got a lot of people that are now sending me the pictures of the individuals. I want to thank you for doing all of that. That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And listen, if you're out there, people, please remember, if we're supposed to be talking to each other, calling, if I'm calling you, you're calling me, and you haven't heard from me, call me. Anyone, I've talked to several people from the Grant County area, and I haven't burned one of their names yet. So I know you, the Grant County people. I'm new to you. I know I'm new to Grant County. I don't burn people. I do not burn people. Like, that's just the case, you know, the situation. I don't burn people. So that's that. Listen, this deal in Grant County is ridiculous. I've been talking to the people of Grant County, and I'm hearing things that are very concerning. I'm hearing things from these folks. I'm hearing things about the commissioner that was the hothead, the dude there with all this paperwork in his hands, that as the plumber, he's been sending a lot of invoices to the county since he's been commissioner, and that his plumbing company's been doing a bunch of work. I'm going to record request all of those invoices, and I'm just telling you guys, I'm telling you, Shane Middleton, you knob, and Chuck Leonard, no, not Chuck Leonard. Chuck Leonard's here in Muncie. Chuck Poling, you knobhead too. If you guys are doing dirty, I'm going to find you. I know that you're new. I know we've been here 5 months, but 5 months is enough time for you to understand what's going on. And number one, understand that you're not to be yelling at these people, man. You work for them. You guys are like the fry cooks of the county. You're here to say, yes, boss, how may we serve you today? That's what's happening. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely go to the meeting. They have a meeting at 10 a.m. On the 2nd. So I am going to go up there and sit in on their meeting and find out what goes on. I'm hoping that the citizens will go. I'm hearing that people are getting very tired of what's happening in Grant County. And that they elected these two guys thinking that these two guys were going to be the answer to some problems. And just like so many other places, they elected them, they're in their seats, and immediately they're disappointments. Now, I've heard some people say, hey, they're not doing too bad for the county, but they treat the employees and citizens like crap. Let me tell you, I would rather things in the county not be running smoothly and you not treat the citizens and the employees like crap. So thank you for doing well, I guess, in the community, if you have been. But my opinion is, if you have these kind of attitudes and you think that you're this high and mighty this early on in the game, there are issues that people just don't know about. That's where I believe. Yeah, do both. How shocking. What a shocking concept. Eric says the big guy on the right in the blue shirt looks like he would like to go smack the one in the middle. He's trying to not get angry. And that might very well be the case. I just wish he would grow a set and start speaking up. I wish he would say, hey, there's nothing wrong for one of them, him to call point of order. Say, hey, I'd like to hear what she has to say. I heard someone say today, well, he's the odd man out. Okay. Sounds like to me they're going to be working on getting you out in 2026. Don't be that turd. You might only have a little bit longer to go, so you need to use it, and you need to use it to stand on behalf of the public. Maybe Ron Stewart, maybe you didn't used to do stuff for the public. Maybe you were part of the cabal with the last commissioners and you were the bad guy. It's never too late to change what team you're on. If these guys are the new bad guys, maybe you can start being the good guy. What a concept. You know? It would be wild. That would be absolutely crazy if that was in fact the case. So, Monday, the 2nd, I'm going to go to this meeting in Grant County. Any Grant County people out there, get in contact with me. I would like to talk to more of you before I go into the meeting on the 2nd. I would like to hear from you. I would like to have conversations with you. I've already talked to like 5 or 6 of you already, and I appreciate the information. Keep on bringing me the information. Look, this only works this only works if you're helping me, because I'm willing to be the mouth. I'm willing to come speak. They're not going to like it. They're going to say, well, you don't live here. You can't speak. They're not going to talk to me like that. And I'm fine with that. I've been thrown out of better meetings than Grant County, I can tell you. So they can try if they'd like. But I need boots on the ground. I need citizens. I don't vote in Grant County, so I can be loud. I can put this out there and let this be known, but it's got to be you. I need the voters there. Oh, listen, I don't ever go to a meeting. That's the thing. I don't ever go to a meeting that I don't take $250 for bail. So that's going to do it for this show, ladies and gentlemen. I do real quickly want to put up on the screen one more time this picture just for individuals to see this. If you see this gentleman out in your community, be cautious. Don't approach this individual. Don't try to be a hero. Contact the police department. Call 911 and let them know that you've seen this individual. He is a rather interesting looking individual. He's got, some curly hair. He's a younger looking cat. He's got tattoos on the arms. Very easy to see that. Appears to wear a fairly big ring on his wedding ring hand. So this is him. Apparently wears what looks like a gold necklace. I knew it. You asshole. You're doing that just because you want to hear me say it again. Stand by and I can tell you what his name is again. Just because you want to hear me say it. His name is... His name is... How Marcio. What would you say that is? Let's just put it up here like this. This is that guy. This is that guy. Well, how would you say that? How would you... Oh, damn, you put it up there. Sorry. What's his name, Kate? Marcio
Osman Romero Torres.
Well, those three names, it's Marcio. So I was trying to call him like Marcio. Marcio probably works. Marcio Osman Romero Torres.
I want to do Italian, Marcio.
Yeah. That's what I want. Yeah, I somehow think this dude is not
Italian,
mobbed up, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do too. Marcio Osman Romero Torres the third, underwater.
Well, we've got Bree over here. She's saying Marcio.
Marcio. Marcio.
I know.
Come on, Vamonos. Everybody get to it.
I was hoping
we could find this asshole.
Marco.
You know that you can do it. Yeah, we could call him that. Marcio Torres. Are we being racist? This is a dangerous situation, I guess. Don't let him take you hostage. Don't let him. He also likes to alien people, take aliens across. So, I should be looking. I think they are Homeland Security. I've heard various things, but this guy looks like a turd. So, hey, I wonder if Diego knows where he is. Did it say he is Did it say where he's from? Let me see here again. Yeah. Honduras. So maybe we could get Diego Morales to help, since Diego's out doing all this other shit that the that the Secretary of State doesn't do. That would be fantastic, So I don't know. There he is. Don't approach him. Look, it's oh man. Oh, look at this, dude. Rob Kendall with the pictures of Micah. Guy won't lift a finger to call out or get to the bottom of why the totally unethical Secretary of State is in foreign country claiming to cut deals Micah is responsible for, agriculture, but he's all over making pizza at the Pizza King. What a fighter. I would say they are not going to be friends for much longer. This friendship is coming to an end. Question that's bugging me is that Pokemon hanging from his mirror. Gotta catch them all. No, it's not a Pokemon. It's not a Pokemon. It's like a... to me, it looks like a little stuffed doll that you get out of a crane machine. That's what it looks like. But no, I don't think it's a Pokemon. But he's a Pokemon, and we do have to catch them all. So, it is what it is. All right. Listen. Pinata. God. Kind of. It looks like it looks like Garfield. You know what? It looks like Heathcliff. There you go. Heathcliff was like the weird Garfield. So okay. It's Thursday. That means tonight's the end. There's no show tomorrow or Saturday. However, I can tell you, as busy as it has been the last couple of days. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Before we cut out of here, we got one more thing we got to do. We do need to look at that JD post. Sorry. Someone did send it to me. I am so happy that you said that. I think Bridget sent it, or Jeff, or one of the assholes. I don't know who sent it. Somebody sent it. Let's go down here and look at it. Let's go look at it. It's in here somewhere. This will be good. We have great law enforcement. This is JD Prescott. We have great law enforcement officers in our community at both the municipal and county level, and they have my support to ensure ICE detainer requests are honored. Last session, I authored a bill that didn't go anywhere because I'm a total tool bag. It also would have protected local departments from frivolous lawsuits under this proposed policy by having the Office of Indiana Attorney General defend a law enforcement official agency from such lawsuits. Working alongside Attorney General Todd Rokita, we passed this bill in House 64-26. Unfortunately, it was denied a hearing in the Senate. I will work with the Attorney General's office over the summer on some modifications to strengthen the bill and reintroduce this legislation at the next session.
So
Hello?
there were a couple of people that replied to that.
Yeah.
One said the Winchester PD uses the 2016 code books as opposed to the IGA site with the 2024 codes. I personally experienced this.
That's
Blah, blah, blah.
ridiculous.
What in your power are you going to do other than work on bills the officers will refuse to listen to, then claim qualified immunity using old codes and statutes? Another person said, what would you consider to be a frivolous lawsuit? Also, what does that have to do with local law enforcement honoring ICE? Is it typing or appearing as if you are more interested in keeping your buddies out of trouble again than upholding the law? Do better and be better. Protect the citizens of Randolph County from violent predators instead of giving them a get out of jail free card. He responded to that.
Okay.
Said, here is the digest version of the bill. And then he copied and pasted the digest version of the bill. This is his entire response. And she replied to him very kindly, did you copy and paste that? Very political answer. You still did not answer what is considered a frivolous lawsuit, though. Have there been any frivolous lawsuits to Randolph County or Winchester Police Department in the last, say, 10 years? And he still has not responded to that one.
We'll see if he does. That's quite interesting. Who can you tell me who was responding to him?
This lovely lady in our comments here.
Okay, I figured it was. I figured it was her. Keep up the good work, Ashley. Hey, if he responds to you, let me know. And if you're ever anywhere, Ashley, that you see JD responding like a tool bag, send me screenshots of it, because that idiot has me blocked from everything, which is a problem, and we're trying to do something about it, but I'll let you know. I really tried to give JD a chance when I first moved to Randolph County. I'm so disappointed in myself. Yeah. Is this what that guy sounds like? Yes, that's exactly what he sounds like. I heard him one time. He said, Mommy and Daddy, I wanted a red Camaro instead. And they bought him a green one when he was like 40. Like, whose parents are out there buying you a Camaro at the age of 40? What in the hell? Ridiculous. The last thing I'll say before we go. It kind of is what he sounds like. I'm going to show you. This is. I'm putting this at the end because this is a major trigger warning to people. I'm gonna put this at the end here. I'm trying to find free. How do I find? Let me see where I'm trying to go with this. What's that lady's name? Okay, right here. There is this horrible story that has been being shared around social media over the last couple of days. And trying to get down here. Do it. I'm not even going to show. There is a thing that's going around on Facebook. This lady named Gwendolyn White. I don't even know where she's from. Bree might know, and she might put up in the comments. But there's this lady who's like 90-some-year-old mother was at a facility, and they like, where is Gwendolyn from? I don't know where she's from. But they basically just let her mother rot. North Carolina. They let her like die basically, and she's been posting asking for help. And I had Bree reach out to her, and we're gonna get her on the show coming up here, and I'm going to have Bree help. They did a bunch of shit. They got a protective order against the daughter, and then she found out she was dead. They got a protective order against her to stop her from finding out she was dead. Crazy shit, man. Listen to me. If this was my mother, I don't even. I got to find out, because like I would burn. I don't understand. I'm not even going to say what I do. I would absolutely walk through hell bringing it all with me if this was a parent. And so we're going to have this woman on coming up. It's very, 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 very triggering. So we will make sure to let people know. Acid in her wounds. Acid in her wounds. What the hell's that about? Mesh embedded in her wounds. It's really, 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 really crazy what they did to this woman, and what in the absolute hell that this lady went through. They starved her. Okay. And so, it's just horrendous what they did. And so we're going to have this lady on coming up. I got to actually talk to Bree about this, tonight or tomorrow, and find out when we're going to have her on, but Bree will come on and help her. Feces under her nails, wouldn't give her medicine for E. coli, told her daughter to take her home. No, I don't think so, Stumblefoot. I think that's what this lady is fighting for. This is, we'll have to like do a major trigger warning when we do it. There will be people that will not want to watch. I don't know. Kate might not want to watch. I don't know. She's not into shit like that. It's a very serious thing. They blocked her on social media. It's horrible. So, that'll be coming up. If anybody is interested in information on that, if anyone is interested in that information and you want to see the stuff that Gwendolyn is putting out, hit me up on Twitter or hit me up on Facebook, and I'll send you the link so you guys can start looking at it before we talk to her, because it's shit like that. Like it's not political or whatever. It's just, to me as a human interest piece. And I saw that. It made me mad. It pissed me off. And I was like, oh my God. And so, I'm thankful that Bree reached out and got in contact for that lady for me. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, no show tomorrow, no show Saturday, unless something crazy kicks off. It has been a busy last couple of days. So could something insane happen tomorrow and maybe we go live, or something happen tomorrow and we go live Saturday? In order for you to know that, you'll want to, number one, probably the biggest and best thing would be for you to click subscribe and click the bell. That way you'll notify when we get notified when we go live. But then you'll also want to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and look. You can do that. So get a hold of us, because there is a very possibility that something could pop off tomorrow. If nothing pops off and we'll just come back Sunday, we'll see you all on Sunday at 9 p.m. If something pops off, you'll want to be here for that. So tune in and stay near your notification making devices. You guys have a good day, good night, good weekend between now and when I see you next. And God bless each and every one of you. And we will see. That's exactly right, Stumblefoot. We will see. Yeah, skate park grand opening. That's a good thing. We will see you all later. Take care. Good night.